All right, and good afternoon. Welcome back to Archeage 101. This is Jalan from the Paradox Gaming Network, and today I'm doing just a little Q&A session. A lot of people have been asking good questions. I want to make sure to get those addressed. So no particular topic in general, just a lot of randomness. As always, if you need to get in contact with us, you can find us at paradoxgaming.net. You can email us, or you can hit me up on Discord. I am Jalan, hashtag 8446. And there is our Archeage 101 Discord. Lots of people joining, just being able to ask questions around the clock, and usually somebody in there can get a good answer. Also, guess what? I have another 15 squirrels to give away. The first video I do after the 1st of October, obviously I will put up the Google form and I will put it on the webpage. I'll attach it to the video because who doesn't want a cute squirrel in an acorn backpack? I have asked Tryon as of this morning if we could maybe get something different for the November giveaways because this will be the 60th squirrels that I give away. So squirrels are getting just a little old giving them away, but that means if you don't have one, your odds of getting one are probably pretty high. Alrighty, to jump right in, had a couple of questions about houses to start with. I'm going to answer Gambito's question first. He talks about the swept roof cottage with the 2 seed beds and that it was so cheap. Well, I did talk about these house upgrade options. I've actually done 2 housing videos. So if you haven't seen those, you're going to want to cycle back through the playlist and find where I've already talked about housing. But as far as Sir Camsalot asks, maybe I could elaborate on the upgraded houses. How do you get them? What's the difference between them? And where do I get the profession boosts? Well, that's a lot of different questions, so let's break it down. First and foremost, you're not going to find the armorer, the apothecary, or the tradesman houses in Mirage. What's going to happen is you're going to place a regular manor. You're going to place a 24 or a 28 piece of property, and then you're going to build it. And once it's built, you're going to come up to it. Now, this is already an armorer's house, but we're going to just, for the sake of explanation, pretend like it's not an armorer's house. When you come up to the information about the construction and you click on remodel, this is the interface that lets you make some choices. So I could, in fact, turn this into an APOC house or a tradesman house. I wouldn't want to, because that would be a very expensive endeavor. And this is the reason why I keep all of those trades houses on conviction on public, because I don't want to see people go through this level of expense. So if you look at this, this is 30 blueprints. That's 45 brick construction bundles, 30 wooden bundles, and 38 tool bundles, plus 1 blue salt hammer. And when you had all these things together, you would basically hit build and it would allow you to do it. What you can do is if you want to see, you can go into the preview. And the nice thing about it is if you did happen to place a townhouse or a manor and you didn't quite get the layout right, you maybe misclicked and were off a tick. When you upgrade, you do get another chance to rotate it. One thing I will tell you is everything needs to be out of the house when you upgrade it. So that is an important one. As you saw the smoke, I just canceled out. Nothing happened. All my stuff is still there. Now, the question about between them. Well, as you've seen in a couple other videos where I've come up to the 2nd floor of the armorer's house, the armorer's house allows me to make illustrious items straight away without having to buy the lower level items and upgrade them. Also, the armorer's house usually has a 1 Archeum discount on anything but the illustrious. So if you're making a magnificent or higher, the essence is 1 less than if you came over to one of these regal forms and made the same thing. Now, on the other side of this mansion, I have my apothecary house, and the apothecary house is the only place you should ever be making consumables once you have the ability to make the top end consumable. So when I come to the supply manufacturer's workbench, and I do alchemy, and I do Kraken's mites, this is all the materials that it takes to make a Kraken's mite. Now, if I were to make something here, there is a chance, as I showed in a previous video, that it will double proc. So let me see if I can pull stuff out real quick and maybe demonstrate that double proc. So, always willing to do some things on the fly, even though I wasn't planning on making any desert fires today. Let me go ahead and open all these. Oh, no alchemy today, but I do have the labor one. So I have 7 attempts at desert fires. So I'm going to hit craft, and hopefully one of the 7 decides that it wants to... there we go, look at that, straight off the bat. As you can see, this recipe is supposed to make 10 desert fires. So 40, 20, 20, 20, 8, 3 were taken out of my inventory. But instead of giving me 10 desert fires, it gave me 20. And that is the benefit of the APOC house. The APOC house can give you a double proc on anything you make up here of these 3 crafts. So if you have an APOC house available and you have the proficiency available to make stuff at the APOC house, most certainly do that. Now, when you go into this menu, you're going to see that to make a Kraken's Mite takes 180,000 proficiency. Well, some people, and I'm going to show you real quick. Let me go back in there. Now you'll see my proficiency is 255,000. Now a lot of people have said to me that's not possible. 230 is the cap. Well, first of all, if I wanted to get, really into it, I could put my title back on and have another 8,000 go in, and at some point, see, there's the 263. But the big thing is, let me go down to the first floor, is these bonus items that the question also asked about. So you see this potion rack and this experimental crucible. Those 2 items combined give this house a plus 20,000 to the boosts. So just like I did the remodel, I come into the construction window, I hit boosts, and it shows you that because I have the potion rack, I get 5,000, and because I have the experimental crucible, that gives me another 15,000. So 20,000 proficiency is granted just by using this house. Now the question is how do you get those items? If you go into your crafting menu, and you go into alchemy, and you go to special alchemy goods, and there you go. 5 fine lumber, 1 frost breath coolant, and the potion rack design, and that's the easy one. The experimental crucible is star shard ingots, 2 Nuri forest lumber. That's a little bit more pricey than it used to be, and the experimental crucible design. These items do bind when unwrapped, so if you make them and you no longer need them, you will have to sell the property, and the person will have to take them out of the property, and then they can sell it back, or you can do it however you want. Alrighty, the next question comes from Patricio R. And I love this question. I can't stop laughing at this question. Brand new player, played 5 weeks, paid their patron, got to level 55, and doesn't understand even half the things. Well, welcome to Archeage, where very few people understand anything. So, you're asking, what the heck is a Luna Drop, a Luna Stone, a Luna Frost, or a Luna Gem? You're becoming a lunatic, and you want to quit the game. Don't quit the game. This is real simple. I'm going to break it down for you real easy. So what I've done is I've pulled a couple of pieces of gear, and I apologize for the resolution. But you can see where I've put the arrows that you have Luna Stones and Socket Luna Gems. Luna Stones and Luna Drops are the exact same thing. Luna Drops are straight stats. Luna Frosts are the something others. Toughness, resilience, crit, cast time, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip in a game. So here's my gear. And on my headpiece, I have the cast time 2%. And then on the chest piece, I have the received damaged 3%. And I have the spirit 9% Luna Drop. The reason why I showed you all three is because there's a couple of places these are going to come from. First and foremost, these come from alchemy. So your stat ones, your Luna drops come from your stat ones. You can also occasionally pick these up in other places. Your Luna frosts for your different abilities, so your cast time on your headpiece, for example, or you're holding your breath for 30-second one. All of these come from alchemy as well. The last place that these come from is the honor shop. And so when you come to, here we go, the purple ones, there's your Luna Frost for healing on the weapon, or move this over to the damage on the hands. So that's where those Luna Frosts come from. Now when we go back, we see the socketed Luna Gems. Luna Gems you have to be careful with, because there's Luna Gems, there's Luna Scales, and there's refined Luna Gems. Now, I deliberately put Luna Scales between them because I wanted to break them up. First and foremost, Luna Gems, they're RNG to go in. If it fails to go in, all break. So you either up or out. So this is what you're going to hear people most often complain about, is the honor gems. As you can see, that's 7 resilience gems. I got incredibly lucky. I went 7 for 7 on the gems in my chest and 6 for 6 in the pants. That's why I have so much surplus honor. There's a lot of people that it's not uncommon that they've spent 400, 500,000 honor and they haven't max gemmed out their gear. The next one, Luna Scales. These are a 100% will go in, so they do not put the other gems in your gear at risk. So, for example, the flute that I just made, I put 3 cast time 1s in, and that was about as much as I wanted to risk. So after I had the 3 cast time 1s, which each one of those had a chance to break all of them when they went in, I just finished the item out with cast time 0.5s out of the prestige shop. So to show you those, you come into your guild tab, your prestige shop, and you will see that you have both Luna Scales and Luna Gems here. Big one for people, the attack speeds are Luna Gems. I'm going to say it one more time. The attack speeds are Luna Gems. I don't know how many people have messaged me and said I just broke my attack speed gems. Well, yes, you will break them. They are Luna Gems. The last one is a refined Luna Gem. It is much like the Luna Gem in that it's RNG on whether or not it will go in. But if it fails to go in, it will only break itself. To show you an example of that, if I bring up my character sheet one more time, my bow, in that top slot I have a healing 4.0, and in the next slot down I have a healing 2.0 refined Luna Gem. The reason why is at the time the healing power 4.0s were rather expensive and didn't want to risk breaking anymore, and what I really needed was cast time. Obviously now when I upgrade this bow I will gem it out completely different, but I'm going to throw this in and I'll throw it in later as extra credit. You can pull out that 4.0 gem. If you do the price comparison on the particular day, the item you want is a Mornstone. And a Mornstone allows you to extract a socketed Luna Gem. You cannot extract a socketed Luna Scale. So you can't take out the toughness Luna Scales. But some changes with that stuff is coming in 4.0. I highly recommend you go to Omnom's site and you read all about the changes to gemming that we should have gotten in 3.7 if we were getting it. We will now get in 4.0. So the next question comes from Noah, and it's that he's looking to re-roll Mage, doesn't have enough gold to buy a new set right now, And would the Mist-Song Armor Staff be a good set to play as a mage while I work up? Would it be a waste of effort? Absolutely, Noah. Go ahead and get this weapon. It is not going to be a waste of gold. It is going to be a very solid weapon for you. What I've done is I've come into the item encyclopedia, and even if you just get it up to a Deadly Elegant Staff at Epic, you're talking 600 magic attack. If you come down and you get the Superior for that equip effect for your basic critical discord being basically now an AoE, totally worth it. Absolutely. When it comes to the armor, you come to the Burnt Castle, no. Sharpwind Cloth, the Celestial Hardy Thief's Shoes, and you can basically get this 3-piece set upgraded really cheaply. And then you should be able to, if you're melee already, you should be able to go into with somebody into Sharpwind, run it twice, get the 3 pieces, upgrade these 3 pieces, and look at the price. I mean, it's like I talked about in the last video, it's a handful of shards and some other junk, and it would give you 3 of the 7 pieces already at Celestial. So that's a great way to jump in. You can augment the rest with GHA gear, which you can do the same. You can do the same thing with the Howling Abyss plate, or I'm sorry, the Howling Abyss gear upgraded to Celestial, and you'll have the 4 set bonus from that for PvE damage reduction. Now, I will tell you that if you're going to be going a staff in open world as a mage without a shield, you're going to be pretty vulnerable. But yeah, if you're trying to reroll classes and you just need a foot in the door, this is why I've been foot stomping this all week, and I'm going to keep doing it. There's absolutely no reason why a player can't get themselves into a Celestial set basically inside of a weekend. The Mist-Song weapon might be a little bit longer because I recommend rolling it to at least Epic. So you're going to have some breaks, and you're going to need a little bit of gold for the regrade charms. For the regrade scrolls. But for the most part, you can get yourself a very, very respectable weapon with almost no gold investment. All right, our next question came from Mason Yates, and I answered this question that teaching people how to do weapon swaps is a little bit beyond what a new player needs to know. But then I realized I can't keep saying that if I'm telling people to go and get the Mist-Song shield, because the Mist-Song shield has a equip effect on it, and you may need to swap in a different shield, or you may need to swap in your Monstrous Desire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop back in the game, and I'm going to just head over here away from this crowd of people. So as you can see right now, I have my Stealth Fang shield on. I also run a Kraken shield on my bar because I need to break combat, or if I'm in PvP, that Dark Ink effect still is useful to use. The other thing you're going to see is that I have a Monstrous Desire because who doesn't like free mana? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run myself out of mana here for a second. I have my Nui's Dawn in. So from my hotbar, I click on it. The first click on it equips the Monstrous Desire. The second click on it gives me my memory buff, which is restoring my mana. And then must make sure to click my Nui's Dawn back in. Otherwise, I'm going to be standing there trying to heal without my healer weapon. It works the same if I'm going to hot swap in my shield. If I was getting surrounded and I needed to get out of combat, I click in the shield, I use it, and then I click my regular shield back on. Now you'll notice when you hot swap, just like I can hot swap between the instruments, you'll notice that you do generate a global cooldown while hot swapping. So it is something you need to make sure you are paying attention to. Now with the idea of a Great Club hot swap, I don't have a Great Club at the moment. I'm not actually running that, but I am working towards that. I would end up changing my bar around because I would want my Great Club next to my shield, next to my Nui's, because I would keep the Great Club equipped while I was using it. And then if things got a little dicey, I would want to equip my shield first, because obviously my shield gives me my defense. Then I'd equip in back my weapon. But remember, during those 2 seconds, you're vulnerable because you don't have your weapon equipped and you've generated global cooldown. All right, Guitar Hero 1885. I love this question. I discuss gear in general, opinion on weapon, choices for classes, pros and cons, same for armor, what is best considered good for archers, etc. Classes as well as the classes people don't play, why they aren't played, their pros and cons, Bastion, Blood Reaver, Eidolon, general stuff. Okay, this is a huge question, and I want people to know that this question right here, I put it in the Q&A, but I don't have an answer for it because I need specifics. Like, what is best or considered good for archers? Well, I'm going to say that an arrow or bow is considered good for archers. So you need to be working towards an arrow or bow. You can know this by looking up the archers on North America and just see who has what gear. I can also tell you for archers, there's some differing thought processes. Do you go with obsidian armor? Do you go with 4-piece Gale? Do you go with full Gale and be a glass cannon? These aren't the sort of questions you want to ask the 101 guy. These are the questions you want to seek out an archer that you know and respect and ask their opinion. And then you want to ask the 2nd archer and the 5th archer and the 10th archer before you really commit to anything. Now, if it's a healer question, I can help you all day long on a healer question. When it comes to classes people don't play and why they aren't played and their pros and cons, I can tell you that Bastions are played. Bastions are played because you can be an archery tank. Now, I know people are going to say, why am I going to be an archery tank? There's a time and place for an archery tank. Blood Reaver, Eidolon. The thing is you should be able to combine any 3 trees you want and make a class you want, but you might need a little help refining it. So Guitar Hero, I don't have a good answer for this question, but I want you to know that the next question you ask and you say, I want to play Blood Thrall. I want to play Blood Thrall because I want a healer with some of the Battle Rage CC immunities. I want to have Bondbreaker and I want to have Behind Enemy Lines because I want to be able to get out of stone and I want to have Bondbreaker to take all those debuffs off me. Okay, now that's a good starting point for a conversation, because then we can talk about why are you taking Battle Rage versus why aren't you taking Oromancy. But a huge broad question like this, I can't do. But people feel free to ask me, like, take this question as a launching pad and ask me some other questions that come from it, and I will either find you an answer or I will try to direct you to somebody who can give you an answer. Good question from Fishy Face that came in my Archeage 101 channel. What are all the ways to get Abyssal Shards? Run the low-level dungeons, run the higher-level dungeons, run Mist Song, and then do the Mist Song for jars. If you get 6 jars, you can form an orb, and the orb can contain like 24 of them. What I'm going to do is I am going to show you the Mist Song run real quick. And that way you can get a vague idea of what you need to do for the jars. Here's the good thing. You never, ever, ever have to kill a single thing when you do the Mist Song run. So that's really helpful for somewhat lower level people. Also, huge thing, before I jump into that, don't sweat too much longer. As soon as 4.0 comes out, Abyssal Shards and Abyssal Crystals are going to be very, very plentiful. So like I said in a couple of videos back, don't be throwing out any dungeon drops. None of those shards, the Brine Bronze shards, the Sun Strength stones, keep all of those. All of those are going to convert to Abyssal Shards and Abyssal Crystals. All right, now for something not exactly game related, but one of the other things I do in the Paradox 101 Discord is I help people who are having other game issues. And one of those issues is all the disconnects. Now, if anybody knows me from Selphera and Conviction, you know that I disconnect about 20 times a day. I actually have gone about a couple of things more advanced than this, but this has seemed to help most people. So basically you go to your, if you're in Windows 10, you go to your user's name, whatever your computer name is, main, documents, Archeage folder, and it should look like the first picture right here. It should look like this. Now user 2 through 7, those are all my other accounts, all my other alts. When you click on one of them, inside of it, you will get this shaders folder. You can go ahead and delete that shaders folder, and in about 50% of situations, it will fix your problem. For the other 50%, you can go back one step and you can try to just delete your user folder or all of the user folders. Now realize this is going to reset your settings. It's going to reset all your skill bars and stuff. However, if you're having a lot of problems, a whole lot of problems, I recommend pulling out your log backups and your screenshots folders, and then just delete the entire Archeage folder. Restart your computer, and when you relaunch Glyph, it will repopulate these folders for you. This is everything you can do short of a clean install to try to fix your disconnect issues. Okay, so I'm outside of Miss Song, and I've been in there for a few minutes. Trying to do the porcelain jars demonstration. However, I'm having a really off day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in and I'm going to recut the footage. So when you come in, first thing you always want to do when you're in here is turn around and pick up these quests. The reason why is the quests themselves, they give an Abyssal shard, but they also give Sunset Portal Stones. Now, a lot of those things I've been telling you to roll for and get Mist-Song weapons, you can get those. You're going to need Mist-Song Portal Stones to upgrade them. Now, the way you get Abyssal Shards in here is you run around and you find these porcelain jars. You need to find 6 of them. When you find 6 of them, you're going to get, well, each time you find one, and there's one, you're going to get a Jade Orb Shard. You're going to actually, technically, you're going to get 2 of them. So you get those. Now I have 12, because like I said, I was just in here. But I want you to see that if you come down these side roads, those 3 side roads, you come down those, you will most likely pick up both that you need. Each side road has 2, and so 2 times 3 is 6. There's also one down this center path. There's one straight down the middle, so you can technically get 7 porcelain jars per run. Now, the reason why a lot of people do this is because once you get really good at this, and you can not fall off the ledge. Yep, I'm gone. Be careful about the traps. I really wasn't being respectful to the trap. I was just kind of bullshitting. And yeah, I'm too far down now. I'm not getting back up. But, so you've seen, there's the trap. Go slow. So I've already come down this row. I'm going to go down a different row next time. I'm going to go down this one. Just so that you can see, the porcelain jars are usually pretty easy to get to. And the best part is that you bring in a couple of people. Only one of you can get the jars, but you guys can knock out the quests, the dailies. Start getting those portal stones. And once you get pretty familiar with the dungeon, you will understand where they all are. Like, this one's going to be here. I'm going to show you on this road where another one may be. Come over here on this side of the waterfall. If it's not on that road, it'll be right there, or it'll be right here. So that you know, the porcelain jars, they don't have static spawn spots each run, but they do have only a limited number of places that they can spawn. So once you get really fast at this and you can maneuver around, you'll usually find them without many problems. If it's not here, it should be now down and around the corner, because that's the other location. Watch out for this guy. He aggroes you while you're on the bridge. So as you can see, I'm pretty much calling it where they're going to be. The other thing is, if you can't quite find one, If you do the target slash target porcelain jar, it will show you one. However, if you notice, it's showing me one that's 213 meters away. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this one. And then I'm going to try to find the one that's 200 some odd meters away without dying. I'm probably going to die. So, yeah, as you can see, it's whichever it's in this general direction now. Now, I could kill everything down on that row, which actually I'm going to so that you can see what to do. Also, if you have a Dimensional Destroyer weapon, I highly suggest you use it for this buff if you decide to fight the stuff in here. Do I have any small keys? No. So as you can see, picked up an Abyssal Shard just off the trash in here. Now, I should probably just bite the bullet and, you know, pot up, or not pot up, but consumable up and buff up. But I'm really not trying to be in here that long. So I'm going to do target porcelain jar again. Now, as you can see, I'm within 148 meters of it. I'm also moving on into the next row because I've had to go through a gate. So as I said, there's 2 per path. Since I went through a gate that puts me on a different path. I'm within 100. As you can see, that X is probably gonna be a... Oh, wait. See, yep, it's gonna be down this row. So I don't have the small keys. Anyway, I could swing back around, I could come up that row, but you get the general idea. If you need more details on how to do these jars in here, just feel free to let me know. What I'm going to do is, just to show you, I'm going to combine for the Jade Orb. I'm going to toss this key, I don't need it. So I got my Jade Orb, I used 12 orb shards, I get a Jade Orb. When I click on it, this time I got the Coruscant painting. It's a little piece of furniture, not what I wanted at all, but I'll throw it out, and I'll move on. All right, and that's really all I have today. Today was a Q&A, mainly for 2 reasons. Number 1, a lot of people asking a lot of good questions, and I want to get them answers. But 2, that's really the direction I need to take the next couple of episodes. I need feedback from you all. While I do some research into 3.7, 4.0, and 4.5, I'm going to try to line some stuff up. And really, it's been a fun experience doing the Archeage 101 series, but unless I start to get some feedback, I think I've given all the new players pretty much everything I need. So I'm going to have to find a new niche to fill. But rest assured, the videos aren't going to stop. So if you have a question or I need to do something, to help explain things for newer players, feel free to ask on any video, and I will produce a video as quickly as I can. Hey, you. Yes, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Hit that subscribe button. Watch a couple of more videos. Go check out our website.